Hey, Matt here. I wanted to talk about the Scrapebox blog commenter. Scrapebox is an excellent automation tool, and one of the nice features about Scrapebox is the actual blog commenter, how it can comment on blogs for you. So, the actual comment poster is just like the rest of Scrapebox. It's merely an automation tool. So, if you've ever commented on a blog in general, you'll know that you have to supply the blog certain information. So if you go to a blog and you scroll down, you'll see something like this. This is a WordPress blog, and you'll see leave a comment. It'll ask you for your name, your email address, your website if you want, and then the actual comment itself. And then you have to submit it. So when you go into Scrapebox, you're going to need to give it names to work with, emails to work with, websites to work with. In this case, it'd be your website, so you can get your backlink, and then the actual comments to use as well. And then you're going to have to give it a fifth item, the actual list of blogs to comment on. So this is just one blog. Obviously, you might give it a list of 50,000 or 10,000 or 3,000 or 1,000 and let it go comment on all of those. So Scrapebox is just automation, and you are going to have to give it all the same information, and it's subject to all the same rules as far as commenting goes in general. So as far as the platforms that Scrapebox can comment to, 6 different platforms as of the recording of this video. There's 2 modes in Scrapebox that you can use to comment with: Fast Poster and Slow Poster. So under the Fast Poster option, you can comment on WordPress, Movable Type, Blog Engine, and B2 Evolution. And then with Slow Poster, you get the same 4 plus Drupal and Expression Engine. So a couple extra that you can comment on there with Slow Poster. Now you don't have to worry about separating your lists. So in Scrapebox, you'll see something like this is the main Scrapebox window. If you go over here and you choose a platform that you want to harvest from, you don't have to worry about keeping that separated for any reason. Scrapebox auto detects all of that, so you can combine all the 6 platforms into one on Slow Poster, or the 4 platforms into one on Fast Poster. So this is the actual comment poster section down here. You can see you do have the Fast Poster, the Slow Poster, the Manual Poster, and then various other settings around. And this is where you're going to load up all those things, such as your names and your emails and that sort of thing. So let's talk about that for a minute. Say we want to do Fast Poster. We're going to have to load up certain things. So this happens to be the list of names, and I already have them loaded here, but we can go ahead and open up. And inside your main Scrapebox folder, it'll look something like this. You'll see this comment poster folder. You can go in there, and it has pre-supplied lists. These are for example only. You don't want to use these. But if we were looking for names, we would select this. And then the next one loaded up is email addresses. So we can select email addresses. So for those two, the names and the email addresses, there's actually a tool that will help you generate those that I'll show you in just a moment. So then under websites, this is your websites. So you'd want to load up your websites. And then under comments, which is this one here, you would want to load up comments. And then the last one is the blog list, so you want to load up the list of blogs that you want to comment on. In this case, I have a list up here that I've scraped just for example, so I can go, if you scrape URLs, you can go list here and then transfer URLs to blog list for commenter, and hit that, and it will transfer those URLs right down here and give you notification that it sent those 97 right down here. So as far as your websites, that's going to be basic. You have that. Your comments you're going to have to make up, and your list of blogs, you're going to scrape those or get those however. The names and the emails, you can go up here to this tools section and go to open names and email generator. The first time you do it, it's going to ask you if you want to download the database that's needed for this. You want to go ahead and choose yes and let it download. Because it has a lot of names here that you can use. As you can see, 487 million different names or email address combinations that it can use. So go ahead and let that download, and then in here, so we're going to do some names. Let's leave both box checked and let's do 100 names. So let's generate the names, and then I can save that file off and save it right here as names. And then let's go over here to emails. Now the number over here applies to emails as well. Let's put some numbers in there. You can input a number in front if you want. You have to type an email domain, so I'll just type Gmail and leave it at that. and then we'll hit generate emails, and it brings in and it makes up 100 emails for us. It's not important that you use real email addresses with Scrapebox. In fact, you really don't want to. It's ideal to use email addresses that aren't real. So if a complaint is sent, you don't really have to deal with it. So I can save these off as well, and I can just go right in here and save them off as emails. And so that's how I get my names in my emails file done for me the easy way. So we're going back in here. As you've loaded up all your lists, and I already loaded up ahead of time those lists of names and emails that we just saved off. The E next to it lets you edit things. So if I hit the E, I can see all the names that I'm working with here. I can also go down here to my websites and see those, and then like my comments and that sort of thing, and I can edit them. And so if I wanted to put another one in there, like have a great day, I can do that, and I can hit apply, and that will apply it to this session only. If I hit save and apply, it's going to overwrite the file that I loaded up and save it back to the hard drive. So if you're making editing changes here, you want to make sure that if you hit save and apply that you really want to save that, because it's going to overwrite your old file that you just loaded up. So there's also the Wysiwyg Editor. So let's click on that for a minute and look at that. We can click on our comment and it'll bring it up here. And then say I wanted to put in a link to blog for some reason. I can click link and we can go, I'm just going to make something up here, go google.com, and it will build that link in there for us automatically and generate the HTML. If we hit preview, it's going to look just like that. We can add spin text. It's one of the, go ahead and hit the little spin text thing and it's going to generate that for you. We'll put best, great, awesome blogs online. And so then if I hit preview, see how it picks one of those random words there, and I can hit spin and it will generate that so you can test what your actual comments are going to look like. And then we can hit update selected comment and it will update it down here, and this is the actual, what it's going to post to the blog. It's going to pick one word from spin text, but it's going to post this actual HTML here. Now bear in mind, if you try to put links in comments, not all blogs are going to support all of these options. Like if you make a word bold, like make the word it's bold, and we update that comment, see how it puts strong here? Not all blogs are going to do that, in which case, if they don't support it, they're actually going to see this strong here, or the C, the A, and all this HTML code here. So bear in mind that you might want to test those things and then go actually look at some of the blogs on the platforms that you're posting to make sure that you're there. Otherwise, if you do this, this isn't going to make a link and it's going to look just like spam. And so if an admin looks and sees this, they're just going to know that you're trying to spam them, and they're just going to delete it. So bear in mind, as you use the comment, you can delete comments and all that sort of stuff. So I'm just going to hit cancel because I don't really want to save any of those changes. And then whenever Scrapebox goes through, so we have 2 comments, we have 4 websites, and then we add 100 names and 100 emails that we generated. Scrapebox is going to pick one random name, one random email, one website, and one comment, and combine that all together. And it's going to continue to randomize as we move forward for each comment that it posts to each blog. Now once you have everything loaded up, before you ever post, you want to make sure that you test comments. So you can hit the little test comments button here, and you'll see where it's randomly picked out a name, an email address, a website, and a comment. We can hit spin again and that sort of thing. It's very important that you use test comments, especially if you use spin text in your comments or wherever, because if you mess up the spin text and you hit spin here, this is what the comment's going to look like, and you see all this random code. It could look really spammy, number one, and they're going to delete it. Number two, if you make too much errors on spin text, then Scrapebox has a lot of filters to filter out mistakes with spin text. But if you have this massive paragraph and you have a ridiculous amount of spin text errors, Scrapebox might not be able to handle it, and it might cause it to freeze up or something like that. So plus, there's no point in doing all these comments if you're just going to mess them up and they're going to get deleted because they look like spam. So it's definitely worth taking the time just to run through here and just spin it out and see what things look like, and just make sure that you have some quality comments in there.